Hi, welcome back to Mainly B&B Mastery. I'm Jeff Davis, a 10-year Airbnb superhost and Verbo Premier host. I'm the founder of Proactive Properties with 20 years of experience building startups in the tourism and hospitality industries. We're bringing you weekly content for free to help you master the art of running and operating your short-term rental, vacation rental, Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, business. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most core and important subjects, which is what makes a quality listing. How can you make your Airbnb listing stand out aesthetically, but also show up high in the searches that the algorithms are going to recognize? Let's start by talking about algorithms. There's nobody out there that can actually tell you how Airbnb's algorithms work. That's highly guarded secret. And any influencer out there that's trying to tell you I've mastered the algorithms is not being honest. What we do know from experience of what works and what doesn't, and professional hosts know, is that there are certain things that you can do that make a difference, that make your listing stand out. Some people say, hey, you should be updating this all the time, refreshing this and all this. Yes, that is true. That it does help it. To what degree, we don't know. But I know for me, I try to do it regularly because I know when I do, I get more bookings. So I'm not going to change that, and as long as it's working, right? Even though we don't know exactly how the algorithms work, we do know that if you make adjustments more often than not, it helps. It's being refreshed, it's recognizing that there's changes being made to the listing and that it's not being neglected. Let's start with a title. The most important thing you're looking at is the title. You want to make sure that it accurately describes what the guest is going to be looking for and that it makes it stand out. You want to use every single character in the title area. You don't want to just write 2 words and have a whole bunch of characters there. It recognizes a quality listing as a complete listing. You also want to have professional photos. You can't go in there with your smartphone and just take photos and put it up there and make it look attractive to somebody that's booking your property. Most people are booking on their mobile devices now. Statistics tell us that. They're going to look, swipe, and move on to the next property. So you need to have professional photos, preferably by somebody who knows how to shoot rental properties. The order of the photos is the next thing. The first 5 photos are key. If your first 5 photos are what shows up on a browser, if you're not on the mobile device, and that's the same across a lot of the different booking platforms. But if we're talking about Airbnb right now, those first 5 need to be your key photos. Don't just go in order by room. Make your first 5 your best photos, the ones that show what your property is going to bring to the guests and why they should go. And then after that, you can start to organize by rooms and things like that. You should be rotating these photos around just like anything else in your listing to keep it fresh. I recommend doing it at least once a week. That's what I do personally. The next thing is, how do you write up your listing? We mentioned before in the title section, you want to use every single character to your availability space. And here's the secret. You can get ChatGPT to do this for you. So yes, you want to write the content. It needs to be why guests are going to want to come to your property. In each section, you want to fill out every single section in your listing, but you can go to ChatGPT and say, this is what I want to say. Can you please put it into X number of characters for this Airbnb section? And it'll do it there for you. You want to use the concept of above the fold, kind of the old slogan of the newspaper folded. That's what people are going to see. So you want your first things that people are going to see to be powerful. You want to get right to the point in the write-up of this is what it offers. Don't be too wordy. Bullet points are even good. You're trying to get to the point so that people are attracted. They stay on the page and end up booking and helping your conversion rate. The next thing is amenities. Make sure that you have the amenities that people are looking for. And if you go into Airbnb, Verbo, any of the major platforms, you can select those. And if there are amenities that are pretty inexpensive for you to get and add, just go ahead and do it. Something as simple as making sure that you have soap and shampoo and toilet paper, paper towels, all those basics that people have come to expect now. This is not 20 years ago when a vacation rental meant that you got the building and there was nothing in there. Expectations have changed. So you've got to make sure that you've got the right amenities, and you want to make sure they're all in your listing. You certainly don't want to have something there that you're not promoting in your listing. The last thing would be flexible cancellation policies. If I make it too easy for people to cancel, what's going to happen if somebody cancels on me last minute? A lot of this depends on the type of property you have. If you have a smaller, less expensive property, there is probably more likelihood that somebody will cancel last minute than if you have a large property and people are planning family vacations. For example, several of the properties that we have are large 5-bedroom plus luxury homes. And when people are booking those and they're traveling with family and friends, it's not normally something that they're canceling last minute unless it's something very urgent. Airbnb gives you the choice to have a non-refundable option for 10% less. So you can give a flexible cancellation policy that people can choose. They pay a bit more, or the non-refundable option at 10% less. Personally, I choose to do that because if somebody's going to guarantee me the revenue with no cancellation, it's worth it for that. But I also want to be flexible because we go back to algorithms we talked about at the beginning of this video. Algorithms love more flexible cancellation policies. If you are doing a 1 day or the Airbnb moderate policy, which is a 5-day cancellation, that's going to push you higher up the viewing when people are looking for properties than if you have a 30-day or a strict 60-day cancellation policy. Airbnb is in the business of getting as many reservations as possible. So they want to have people looking at flexible cancellation policies. They want hosts to have flexible cancellation policies. Last on the cancellation policies I'll get into is you can set them. So if you were in a summer market and you're going into the fall, you can maybe set a little bit longer cancellation policies for people to book the next summer. But as you get closer, if you want to fill those spots, put butts in the seats, you really need to get that down to as flexible as possible. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what makes a quality listing. Thank you for watching and or listening. And make sure you smash the subscribe button. We're going to be bringing you good free content every single week.
If you're ready to turn your main vacation home into a 5-star, high-performing asset to earn more and stress less, visit us at proactiveproperties.com.